Right. Hello, everyone. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are watching this session. So today, I'm really excited to talk about the Azure Functions OpenAPI extension running on .NET 6. So my name is Justin, Senior Cloud Advocate at Microsoft. So this is my Twitter handle. So if you follow me on Twitter, and you can see my bunch of dead jokes or Azure or .NET related stuff. Right, let's get started. So I'm really excited at sharing this new feature with all of you here. First of all, I need to briefly recap what the OpenAPI is. It's a definition of API specifically describing HTTP API or web APIs. In other words, OpenAPI describes the service contract, how the API operates, and data contract, what the API exchange. And of course, it's just a document and a specification. Therefore, OpenAPI itself has no idea how these APIs are implemented inside. So I just mentioned exchange, which means there must be two parties that shares data, producer and consumer. With this OpenAPI document, both producer and consumer are decoupled from each other and developed by their own velocity or cadence. Therefore, they can drop their interdependency and increase their agility of development speed. Also, with this OpenAPI, we can integrate as many applications as we want, like logic apps or Power Platforms through custom connector, or API management, app service, or static web apps, and so forth, you name it, as long as they support OpenAPI. So we've got the Swashbuckle in ASP.NET Web API area so far. But what do we have for Azure Functions? Is there anything available to support OpenAPI capability in Azure Functions area? Yes, we do. But yes, we do. We've got this extension. I'm really excited to announce this extension called Azure Functions OpenAPI extension. So check this QR code or visit this URL, aka.ms/azfunc-openapi. It was originally from a community-driven project and has now become the Microsoft official extension. So it supports up to .NET 6 from .NET Core 2.1. So it also supports, because Azure Functions runtime support both in-process worker and out-of-process worker. So this extension also supports both the worker environment as well. So in the next 25 minutes, I'm going to show some demos. So I was talking too much. So let's start into the first demo. So the first demo would be, I'm going to show you both both in-process worker and out-of-process worker model, building the Azure Functions from the scratch, right? So let's get started. So I have Visual Studio 2022 here, and I just have the blank solution. Then I am creating the new project here. So start from the Azure Function from scratch. Then, as I said, I'm going to create two different applications. One is in-process application, and the other one is out-of-process application. For now, I'm going to start with out-of-process application. Both are very similar to each other. So just the only differences is using what we are going to use is to create how we can use the dependencies, the iOS container stuff. So let's start out-of-proc app. So let's start with out-of-process worker. Out-of-process worker. Now, so we can choose either isolated or .NET 6 here. So we are using isolated worker, which is out-of-process worker. And here we can choose HTTP trigger. Then just create the project here. And this is the just basic Azure Functions application. So if we build Azure Functions application like this, then if we start application, see how it's going. So just start the application, and then it shows only one function endpoint, right? So this is what we are expecting. Now, I'm just stop it. Then I'm going to add a NuGet package called Azure Functions. So we are using the out-of-process worker, which is a Microsoft Azure.functions.worker.extensions.openapi. So we are just install. We are going to just install this this extension. Then see how it's going. You can update these existing ones. So that's up to you. Now I'm just updating both. So everything is up to date. Now, only what I did is just add one extension. And because we are using the IOC, the out-of-process worker, so I'm going to update a few stuff. I'm going to update a few stuff here. So what else? What else I'm going to update here? Because we need to let the application know we are going to use the OpenAPI extension. So I'm going to replace this part into this. So we are letting the as a function know we are using OpenAPI, and we are using Newtonsoft.net, the JSON.net, the library. Then add something else. What else? Because we only we need to let the extension know this endpoint need to be added to the OpenAPI extension, OpenAPI documents generation. So I added these three decorators starting with OpenAPI. So this, because of that, our API, our Azure Functions application will recognize this endpoint will be included within the OpenAPI document, right? So I think that's it. Then rebuild this solution. Rebuild this solution, and the solution is built. Then start this application again and see what's the change. And see, so we only had this function endpoint. Now we got these 4 additional endpoint, right? Because we added this OpenAPI extension, and it automatically added these additional the 4 endpoints, right? So let's copy this Swagger UI endpoint, and okay, I have a web browser, and we pasted the URL, and this is the Swagger UI that automatically generated from this extension, right? So as you can see, this is the Swagger UI, and you can test it. You can work this UI as a test harness. So just simply click the function and try it out, and click the execute button, and it actually shows the response body like that, right? And if you see the Swagger JSON, and this is the rendering on the fly with the OpenAPI document version 2, which is known as Swagger, right? But if you want to see a different version, like version 3 spec, then you can simply change OpenAPI version 3. Then you will be able to see the version 3 document here. And if you prefer YAML over JSON, then simply change the extension, and then you will be able to see the YAML file as an OpenAPI document. These are all generated on the fly as a real time. So if you have other applications that they support OpenAPI, and you can simply import this document, and it will create some sort of the service contract, or automatically generate code or something like that. So yeah, this is really the simple and easy. Now let's get back to the Visual Studio. Then stop it. Let's create another one. So I used the out-of-process worker. Now let's create another one called in-process worker. That's okay. Similarly, so as I said, both are very similar to each other. The only difference is the in-process worker. We don't have to worry about that program.cs file, which is the host builder. We don't have that host builder part yet. So say in-proc app here and create another one. Then if we change this .NET 6 and it has another template called HTTP trigger with OpenAPI. So we are having, so the updated the Visual Studio Project template will be coming into the next release. So at this moment, the only in-process worker has this separate template. So if we choose this template, and it will automatically add this, here we go, it will automatically add these OpenAPI decorators, right? So that's it. And with this the project URL, and we don't need to worry about adding the OpenAPI extension, right? So let's change this the project from out-of-process worker and the in-process worker and start it. Then if we start this application, and it will show the same result, such as we have one function, one endpoint, but these 4 endpoints are automatically added from this extension, right? So, so back to here, and if I refresh this UI, then it will show the same thing, right? It will show the same thing. Then if I click this button, and then it will show the same result, right? And of course, the it has an additional parameter. So the generated OpenAPI document is different. So we have discussed the how we create the OpenAPI the capability on Azure Functions from the scratch. So this is the first demo. It's really easy, yeah. So I think it's easy. You feel should be the same. So let's move on to the next the demo. So the first demo shows the OpenAPI document version 2 as a default. But what if you want to show the version 3 document as a default? Is there any kind of further configuration we can make? Yes, we can. So in the next demo, I'm going to show you a couple of basic configurations you can make the change, right, within the Azure Function application. So let's get back to the Visual Studio. So I am having this application. Now let's use this one, in-proc application. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a configuration file, here. So add new class and call name it OpenAPI configuration options and click add, and it will create the OpenAPI configuration options. So I have created the class for you. So I will copy predefined the classes here and paste it. So I'm going to explain it. So we have OpenAPI configuration options, and it drives default OpenAPI configuration options, and it has the OpenAPI info metadata information. So within the metadata information, the version 3, and title is OpenAPI, and description, additional description, additional terms of service, additional contact information, additional license details, which we didn't have before, right? And also, this is the important thing. The OpenAPI version, which was version 2 was default, but we can change it to version 3 as a default version. So what we do, what we did is just create this OpenAPI configuration options class. Then it will automatically be picked up from the application and render your Swagger UI differently. So let's build this application again. Then see how it's going. So application is being built now, then this built. So let's start the in-proc application. Then it will display like that. So get back to the browser. So take care of it. Take a look at this. So we have the title like that. We have version 1, and we have nothing in here, right? And then if I refresh this page, and it will change this part, right? So configuration has been, because of the new configuration. So we got, title was different, that's fine. And then OpenAPI version 3, and we have description, we have all other metadata information like that, right? So this is how we can configure your OpenAPI document. So if you actually see this page, and we have a lot of other the information as well, right? So this is the basic the configuration you can do. And then let's do another one. So like this here. So, and sometimes you want to have you want to change these icons, or you want to change some sort of UI, like change the color from black to something else, and some you want to add some JavaScript to change a few behaviors like that, right? In that case, what can you do? So we can basically do these kind of tricks here. So let's get back to the Azure functions. Then let's add another configuration options, which is about the UI options. So I'm going to add another class. I'm going to add another class here. Add new class here, and give it a name as OpenAPI custom UI options. And then I will add this class. So change this class with this one. Then it says, okay, so I have the custom style sheet and custom JavaScript file. It can be embedded directly within the project, or if you have a CDN, then you can directly give the URL like that. So it has like that, the my custom.css file and my custom.js file. So if I open the JS file on the browser, if I open this JS file on the browser, what it says is, okay, so it will just simply show the console log here, okay, and with this message. Don't worry about the message itself. Message is not aligned with this application. So if we add this application, the custom, the style sheet and custom UI, custom JavaScript, I mean, then see how what's being changed. So disable it and build this application again. Then see how it's going. So application is being built. There, okay, built. Now I'm running this application again. So once it's ready, then I will refresh the UI side. So back to here, and this is we changed the UI side. So the current color is black now, and there's nothing in here. So if I refresh the page, then see how it's going. If I refresh the page, oops, nothing happened. Oh, okay. Why is that? Okay, something's happening. So it looks fine, but it didn't pick up the right result because, okay, so I probably missed something, but that's fine. That's fine. So you can actually do the same thing from your side. Okay. So yeah, the second the option was failed, but that's fine. So you will be able to see this URL for the if you try on your side. Okay. So this is the end of the basic configuration. And then if you want to see more the advanced configuration scenarios, and actually that UI options is part of the advanced scenario. So please scan this QR code or visit this the page aka.ms/azfunc-openapi-docs. So there are a bunch of other configuration options you can make. Now, we were able to build new function applications with OpenAPI extension from the scratch. But what if you have already running the Azure Functions application with the preview version of OpenAPI extension already installed? Or if you want to migrate the existing, the previous existing the Azure Functions application to .NET 6, and how can we migrate them with minimal code change? That's really easy. So this is the last demo for you to show how to migrate your existing functions application with the OpenAPI extension. So let's get back to the Visual Studio again. Then I'm going to open another application, which is called the legacy application. I have already have the open in the in-process application and out-of-process application here. So if you see the out-of-process application, and if you see in-process application here, then the in-process application, we use .NET Core 3.1, and we use version 3, the runtime. So if you want to migrate your existing application, then just simply change it to .NET 6 and before. And the same goes to the out-of-process worker. So I'm going to copy these two lines into the out-of-process worker version here. So out-of-process worker, it originally started supporting .NET 5, then version 3 of runtime. So I just simply change it to the .NET 6 and version 4, right? Then I change the NuGet packages here. And here is the OpenAPI preview version. So, and the .NET SDK functions runtime is the old version. So I just simply update everything in here. And then it should be working fine without any hassle. So I need to just rebuild this solution. Then once this application is built, then we can open the application like that. So everything is okay. And then if that fails, that means the migration has failed. But if that the Swagger UI page is successfully loaded, then migration has been successful, right? So let's get back to this page. Then again, run this page again. Then see nothing has been nothing has failed, right? So that means our existing, the old version of Azure Functions application with OpenAPI extension is successfully migrated to the new .NET 6 world, right? And this one, did we change any code? No, nothing has changed. Only we changed the version. .NET Azure Functions runtime version and .NET Target Framework version from .NET Core 3.1 to .NET 6 or .NET 5 to .NET 6. That was it. So demo was successful. I'm not going to do the same thing on out-of-process worker version because it is exactly the same as the before. So if you have time and you can do it by yourself. So this is now your turn. So first of all, get the Visual Studio 2022. Then visit this page, aka.ms/try-azfunc-openapi, or scan this QR code. Then follow the instruction on the page. Then you will be able to create the Azure Functions application by yourself and directly integrate this with API management stuff, right? So, all right, that's it from me. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
All right, that was a great session, Justin. So where are you joining us from?
I'm in South Korea.
Nice, nice. It's so nice to have speakers from different part of the world.
That's right.
Justin, great session on the Azure Functions and OpenAPI. Especially, it's so important in the microservices world where you need to be,
That's correct.
having this services specifying things.
Mhm.
In Azure we have this thing called API management, Azure API management, and things like that, right? So
Yep.
how easy it is to integrate that, this OpenAPI specification with Azure API management?
That's a really good question. Because we don't have enough time to demonstrate it, but if you use Visual Studio 2022, when you publish the Azure Function app within the Visual Studio, then you have an option to do you want the integrate with the API management stuff directly within the Visual Studio? Then if you say yes, then it automatically the published into the API management as well, integrate
That's
that.
nice.
So
Yeah.
you don't have to leave Visual Studio to deploy those two instances to get the OpenAPI capability.
Right, and you also mentioned about customizing the OpenAPI. Using the. I'm sorry that demo didn't work, but I want to understand, what are the general things people use to customize OpenAPI?
The first thing is a really good question. The first thing is about as a default is using the OpenAPI version 2, but sometimes the company wants to use the version 3 as a default. That's one thing. And another one is if you want to sometimes if you deploy that as a functions application with OpenAPI capability into the production, probably you don't want to open the Swagger UI to the public. Then you can hide it. Or
Okay.
if you have a different authentication method, then you will be able to choose which kind of different authentication method you can use, rather than just using the Azure Functions default and the API key stuff.
Cool. That's all the questions that I had for you. But let me see if there's another question from the community. All right, folks, it's time for you to ask some questions. #.NETConf. Tweet away, and we will be able to pull in your questions directly, and our lovely speakers are going to answer them for you. All right, Justin, I will let you go and enjoy your rest of your evening, and I will bring in my next speaker.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Nish. See you next time.
Thank you.